at the moment there's a big push towards chefs, everything, with those big chef programs, all that celebrity thing going on. I think the waiters are left by the wayside, and I think we're sort of forgotten a little bit. It's always about the whole package. It's not just about the food, it's also about the service. I think it really allows us to develop and, just raise those levels, raise the bar. Again, like we mentioned before, there's no courses or proper training. So I think this sort of encourages people like us to be the best that we can be. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
This is a good program to see really where your standards lie, where you may need to improve, what you're already good at, and the feedback from the judges I think is really helpful as well. I think that they're very supportive. I don't think it's more like, it's not really critiquing, it's just basically swapping of information more than anything, just exchanging ideas. And that's definitely a good thing for waiters, because this is probably one of the few where waiters can actually get together and have a chat about what their ideas are, what their thoughts are on the industry and where it's at.
There are a lot of fantastic waiters who do it because they really love what they do, but that probably only, I'd say, makes up about 50% of the industry. There is that other half of where it's a transitional job for them. So to be able to join a program where it is a group of like-minded people who are actually all really passionate about the industry and progressing forward within it, it's just a great opportunity at that. Chefs can get their fame in that sense by the product that they put on a plate. For us, it's a bit about giving yourself a profile. I think that always comes up, and if you're a waiter who's an aspiring business owner, that power that you have in that marketing sense, because the media is really powerful in our industry, to have that sort of sense of a profile within the industry will give you a great amount of support if you ever plan on having your own business.
It's ongoing, it's not just a one-off occasion. That's the thing that I've really noticed about the program. And it's not that just a one-off or 2 or 3 days or the produce tour where you gain skills. It's from the very beginning of the process, just entering it. When you're answering those questions in the first application form, it really makes you stop and think about what you're doing in this industry, why you're in it, what you're good at, what you're not so good at, what you can probably work on.
And just when you think it's over, they call you a month after the competition and say, hey, come and do a cheese tasting workshop, come do another workshop, and it just keeps on going and going, which is fantastic.
So it's a program, it's an ongoing program. It's not something that just stops after 1 day or 2 weeks or 3 months. I mean, Louise, you were in it last year and still involved with it.
And after the first time when I didn't get in, I was really close, and they just all came up and they said, oh, you're fantastic, enter again next year, you're really great, don't let it demoralize you, you're fantastic. And like you said, anything, all just supportive all the way.
I've been working in the industry for 5 years or so now, and I really wanted to know kind of where you're at, where you stood. Had you improved when that first day you rocked up and was learning how to carry 3 plates, and then you've learned all these skills along the way, but what has that amounted to? And it's just a good way of sort of benchmarking what you've achieved so far in your career, which at the end of the process you realise is a lot, and it's important, and it's good for that level of self-confidence, I think.
That we've never done there's no commas, there's no tests or studies, it's all learning on the job. So getting into this was definitely seeing how we rated against other people, and whether we're any good or not, really.
And it's great that the workplace that you're involved in can provide that support, because I think when you go in, whilst it is about you, it is also about the restaurant that you are a part of at that point in time, because there's so much mentoring within your job and the support that people give you, that when you go in there and you are successful in that sense, it's a win for everyone, because they know that they put the time and effort into you. And I had so many people when I did win ring me up and say congratulations, but I sort of ended up having to say thank you back. I was pretty nervous. You're going there and there's some pretty big industry heavyweights. Lisa Van Handel, Peter O'Sullivan, Simon Dent. These are people that as restaurateurs they're good people to aspire towards. So sitting in that waiting room waiting for my interview with them, I was pretty nervous. But then when I got there, there were all smiles on their faces, and you just realise they were there to judge you, but they were more just there to get to know you, understand your personality. And so overall I found them really supportive, and I think when we did the pop-up lunch and they're all sitting at the tables, by the end of it, I realised, oh, okay, they actually know this is just about creating that right restaurant experience.
When you're answering those questions in the first application form, it really makes you stop and think about what you're doing in this industry, why you're in it, what you're good at, what you're not so good at, what you can probably work on. Professionally, there's a couple of things that we probably gain in terms of like the very simple fact of skills. I mean, we learn a lot about food, wine on the produce tour.
To be really good at a job, it's not tangible, you know. When you know it's being done well is when you don't notice it at all, and you know it's unobtrusive. So networking, just being out there and putting yourself out there, and you know, and meeting new people, I think that was a really big thing for me because, you know, well, not shy, but you know, you never think about yourself really. It's always about the customer. You never, you know, about the chef or making sure everything is going right. You never.
Probably definitely handling yourself as a professional, as part of our industry, not just being a background person, realising that you are starting to represent an industry.
Personally, I made a lot of new friendships all over the country as well, actually. So Tasmania, Western Australia, Brisbane, Melbourne, everywhere I go now in terms of Australian food scene, I know that I'll have a friend in all those towns.
And a free couch to sleep on.
And a couch to sleep on, so that's nice as well. But that's something that I look forward to really making the most of in coming years as well.
You worked with all these other great waiters in the industry, and I mean, part of waiting is, and it's the hard part, is that when you are getting judged in this program, it is putting yourself on the line, it is your personality. And I guess professionally, you're around these other great waiters, and you could take a lot of their personal attributes onto them and realise these personal attributes is what made them a great waiter. So realising that person is so compassionate towards their guests and they're so caring. They might not be the most knowledgeable person, but just purely by the fact that when a person is sitting in their section, they make that person feel at home, which is a fantastic thing. So yeah, the personal relationships that you build with the other competitors really allows you to grow yourself and be in a professional way.
Like you, it was only a few years ago till I realised that this is what I want to do with my life, and you know why we really enjoyed it. It just made you recognise, you know, why we've headed in this direction, why we love what we do, and why we, you know, use all our sociable hours, you know, slaving away. But you know, it's not like a job sometimes. It's, you know, having a lot of fun, and it's such a great learning opportunity. So.
Hanging out with a whole lot of like-minded people that enjoy the same things, and we went out to a lot of dinners and lunches together. Spent a lot of time together.
Winning the award, it's that putting that yourself into, you now are a professional representing the industry. I think before I entered the competition, I definitely felt like this is a job. It was something I was very passionate about, and it was a journey that I always knew I was going to go down. After entering the competition though, my job suddenly became a career, and I felt this is a really important industry that I had to be a part of. There's so many industries in the world that's about, it sounds horrible, but taking advantage of people and making money off people in the wrong way. I think it's so fantastic to be part of an industry where our simple job is to invite people into a fantastic environment and just make sure they're happy at the end of the night. And to find a career where your job is to purely make people happy is a pretty enjoyable place to be in.